Next session, we're going to look at our function assignments. The last one we just got to do. And okay, sorry, Mr. Tosin, your hand is up.
Yes, good evening, everyone.
Yes, good evening.
I would just want to suggest, well, for me, I could not connect because of power supply. So my system is down and there's no power supply here, but I'm connected with my phone. So I'm trying to think for some of us that can answer the questions, but we cannot connect. Maybe you share your screen and then we can explain the process of answering the questions or something. I don't know.
Okay, that will be okay. But right now I'm looking at the time. So let me just try. Let me just try and apart from, let me confirm those ones that can actually share their screen. I'm very sure that Dr. David can share his screen. Omolade, can you share your screen tonight?
Yes, I can.
Good. And let me look at Mr. Sunday. Can you share your screen tonight?
No, I told you earlier, no.
Okay, no problems, no problems. So we'll find a way out regarding that, okay? And I've not seen Emedion, so Emedion is not yet here. So maybe she will join us later, or we'll find a way out regarding the assignment. So I'll be sharing my screen soon, and we'll look at the assignment together. So let me go to my screen, and you can see my screen right now presenting. So the very first question, I'm going to see myself as someone has never coded before in my life. So let me try to put myself in that kind of picture right now and try to explain it in the way I could actually see myself as a beginner. So this question is being asked. Let me try and increase my font size. I think you can see my font size is very well okay, right? Yes, it is. Good. So the first question is, guys, define a function that prints hello world. Define a function that prints hello world. This particular function is a non-parametric function. It does not have parameters. When I mean parameters, it means that when you define this function, you do not have parameters inside those the open and close brackets. And once you do that, it's going to be a very simple function. So I can decide to say, let me just say I'm going to define a function. So how do we define a function? We use the def keyword, so def, and this, remember this, guys, this is a comment section, so I'm going to press enter and go down to type my code there. So this is the def. I'm going to define a function, and I can say it, can decide to say print a function that prints hello. I can decide to name my function hello underscore world. Please, I'm taking it as slow as possible, and I define it like this. Definitely, if I was asked to put a parameter, it could have made a whole lot of sense, but I decided not to use a parameter because I just wanted to print hello world alone. So what do? I click on shift and I press, and there will be a colon. Immediately I press enter, there will be an indentation. And that indentation, I said that anything that comes after the indentation is known as a scope. A scope is what is like more, it contains more variables. It contains other things that you would, the method in which you want to use to perform this particular function. And our function tonight on the first question is hello world. And what do we want our function to do? We want it to print just hello world for us. So what do? We print. We definitely are going to put it in a string. String character is those ones that are with a double quote, so out a single quote. All right. So what happened now is going to be hello world. So remember our statement is saying hello world. So we can decide to say hello world. So you can decide to see what, now you can see it came with an apostrophe with a exclamation sign. And also I would like to also suggest that it said define a function that prints hello world. I can see that there are two inverted commas, the double quotes from the beginning side and also the ending side. So let me connect my notebook. If I don't connect, it will not run. Thank you very much. I think someone just signaled me regarding that. So I need to connect my notebook. If I do not, there will definitely be issues. So if I decide to call this function at some point, yes, instead of calling my own, I could have named it first function, but nevertheless, it was just a way of explaining to you. Okay, so what happens now is that if I say hello world, it will definitely print this for us. So let me call, instead of using the first function, let me just I define it as hello world function, and I control C, and I decide to delete this one. I decide to delete this one, and I control V here. And what happens now is that, guys, if I run this code, this is the function I'm calling. Remember, I told you should call a function. You don't print a function at some point, but we found a way to make it happen. So hello underscore world. And once we do that, immediately we call out this function and run this particular cell of this collab, is definitely going to print the task it has been asked to do, and which is just to do what? To print hello world. So once we click on this, definitely you can see, guys, hello world is up, and it's very, very easy for us. A function is a particular area of code that is meant to solve a particular kind of task. It is defined just to do this particular task. And in this particular function that we have, hello underscore world, is simply just to print hello world. All right, guys. So the next one, I'll go to the second question, and which is define a function named say hello that takes two string parameters. We will assume these parameters to be separate names, name underscore 1 and name underscore 2. Function will concatenate these names with and. Then it will print as hello. You put the name that which you want to use. That's hello name underscore 1 and name underscore 2. So this particular information, for example, they said hello Clark Kent and Superman. Okay, so you can see what is actually going on in this number 2. They are asking you for a function that is just to say hello, to two names in which you are going to define here. So how do we make that possible? How do we make that possible? By doing what? We have different ways. When you guys were solving, I saw different methods. Some of you used concatenation. Some of you used what they call it. You guys also used formatted strings. Some of you used the older version of format, in which you just have to, after the end of a particular code, after the end of a particular line, you now put format dot this. And we're going to see it right now. Okay, so I'll start with the first one. I'll start with the first method I want to use. At this particular point, I will say, I don't know if at any point I did not explain concatenation. I'm very sure I did it in this class. Concatenation means joining two data types into one particular statement. For example, you can see hello Clark Kent and Superman. This Clark Kent and Superman are two different names on its own, and they are string characters. But this hello was not there from the very beginning. So we are going to use concatenation. And when I made mention of concatenation, I told you that concatenation uses a particular symbol known as plus. I think I remember something like that. I can remember we said it in this class. So concatenation uses plus. So let me use the first way of making this question solve. Let me see how we can solve the very first one. So we are going to define a function named say hello. So let me define a function. Define a function named say underscore hello. Guys, if at any point you don't understand, just raise up. I think I'm not looking at this thing here, the Teams meeting here, but you can actually just say, Oga, please come back. is very, very important. Just you have the permission to shout that you don't understand. Okay, so right now we go to the first name.
Hello.
Yes.
Yeah, good evening. Please, back to that number 1.
Good.
I think
Thank you very much.
that you said that this hashtag call function, like it doesn't affect whatsoever someone is typing. Like
yes, on that particular line. Yes.
On. So now, in the sense that you wrote that hashtag call function, I'm printing out this hello world. No, at the first, there was the time that you taught us like how to do this hello world on that first assignment that you gave.
Yes.
And it's like, I think this wasn't how we did it, but it was like there was how I connected mine, but I didn't like put this hello world in bracket with all these things. So can we still use that same style to still come back to this same answer this way?
Yes, you can make it work like that, but the question is to define a function.
Okay.
So a function at this particular point uses the DEF, and it follows this format. And in this particular function, this is normally, if I wanted you to just say print hello world, you could have just done print hello world. It will work perfectly for us. But we are going through the process of you understanding what a function does. And in this particular function, it's simply to do what? To print hello world. So that's why we define it first. And once we do that, I told you that you don't just print function out, you call them out. And how do we call them? We brought it out of this particular indentation, which was after this particular colon. We drop it here. Immediately we finish with what we did, we brought it down and we brought it out, and you can see it here. The function name here is hello underscore world, and we put it in open and close parentheses, and once we run it, it prints hello world.
All right, no problem. Because when I saw this hashtag call function, and I remember you said that the call for like once you put an hash on anything, and with what Mr. Gabriel showed me also that it doesn't really affect whatever you're doing.
Yes.
The app just
all these
ignores
things were
that.
just guidelines for you to find a way out for yourself. These are just guidelines. The hashtag, all these hashes that you see, they are just for a guideline for everyone to get through it.
All right, thank you.
All right, okay. So back to this. So we said we want to define a function named say underscore hello. So it's taking two string arguments. Okay, it's taking two string arguments. At this point, let's put name underscore 1, comma, two string arguments. Please, two string arguments, name underscore 2. That's the first name and the second name. Okay, we definitely go out and click on what? The colon, which we have done the first line, define a function name say underscore hello that takes two string parameters. Now we have done it on that same line. We have defined a function say underscore hello name underscore 1, comma, name underscore 2. That is the first statement. Now the next thing is what? We will assume these parameters to be separate, to be two separate names, name underscore 1 and name underscore 2, definitely. And we are going to write a function. The function will concatenate, we have already written the function. The function will concatenate these names with an. Then it will print as hello name underscore 1 and name underscore 2. So the very first thing we are going to do is we can put this thing in a variable and can name it as maybe a message. You can name it as message, and it will work for us very, very well. So let's use the first method. Let me use this first method, and which is I can decide to name it as message. This is the message I want to pass. So equals to. Now we want it to come out as hello Clark Kent and Superman. Now I can decide to say to start with a string character with a quote hello. I decide to now watch what I'm doing now. I'm going to keep space in between the hello and this particular quote, this double quote, because when I'm trying to print my message, I want it to be a space. A space is also a character on its own. So that's why it's inside that particular quotation. It will really help us a lot. Now, the next thing I'm going to do right now is concatenation. Concatenation of string characters right now, and it's going to be with the use of a plus sign, which I'm going to press shift and plus, and it's going to bring it out for us. So anything that we do, since hello is a string character already, and name 1 and name 2 is also a string character, there is no need for me to change this into a string again. It's already a string. So if I run it now, it's going to work. Okay, so I'm going to call the name of these parameters, the first one, which is what? Name. I can decide to put, which name do you want to use, guys? You can decide to use any name.
Name 1.
You can use, no, you can, it doesn't really mean we can actually, you can decide to use any other thing. Maybe we want to use in the nearest where we want to try to run the function, it will also work for us. So let's just use the name 1, name underscore 1. So when we are calling out the function, it will just print it out for us. Okay, name underscore 1 plus, guys, watch what I'm about doing right now. There's another plus. I'm adding another one right now. Now, what I'm going to do, remember when I said and, function will concatenate these names with and. I could have decided to just add name 1 and also name 2, but I need to add another string character. What am I going to do? I'm definitely going to use a quotation, what do you call it? A double quote again, or a single quote. So I can decide to use double quote since I started with a double quote already. So I click here and I'm going to keep a space so that there will be enough distance between the name 1 and the name 2. So I type and I click another space, and so that there will be enough space for me to work with. And I'm going to concatenate another name 2 now. So what do I do now? Name underscore 2. Okay, guys. And once I click enter, I can decide to, what I want it to do now is, after you have done all this, I want you to print this particular message. Okay, that is the first way to make this work for us. That is the first way. Let's see how it's going to be. Let's see how it's going to be. Now let's call out this particular function. Now you can see, guys, if I decide to call out this function now, if I decide to call out, these are the parameters of name 1 and name underscore 2. These are the ones that are in this particular name. So let's see it out if it's going to work for us. So we call this function out and we bring, okay, let's put someone's name here. Let me say Anameti A2. Okay, and definitely she is a spider woman. Okay, a superwoman. Okay, let's use superwoman. These are the parameters I'm passing. The first parameter I'm passing here is Clark Kent and Superman, Bruce Wayne and Batman. If you're a movie kind of person, now we have Anameti A2 and Superwoman. So let's see. Let's run it and see if it's going to give us something wonderful. So guys, if you can see the result of this particular one, you can see hello Clark Kent and Superman, hello Bruce Wayne and Batman, hello Anameti A2 and Superwoman. Okay, you can see it's actually working for us very well. We can also decide to use another kind of way, which I told you, use the formatted strings, search.
Sorry.
Okay.
My hand is raised.
No, I did not see your hand raised, so you can. I was looking at the screen, so you can ask a question.
I've been raising it since.
Sorry, sir.
Since.
Who is on the line? Mr. Opeyemi?
Yes, it's Opeyemi.
Okay.
Can I go on?
Yes. You have the floor. You can go on.
Okay. So I wanted to say why we didn't think of this first method was because you already gave a hint that we should use formatted string.
Yes. I
was actually
why. Also in programming, there are different methods you could use to solve a particular problem as far as you are following what we say we should do. Remember when I said we should concatenate? Concatenation also is something that means once you concatenate, you need to bring in the plus sign too. So it's a way of,
Yes,
there's no problem.
that. Yes,
okay?
I understand that.
All
it's
right.
just that we were looking for a solution that has to include the use of formatted string.
There is no problem. There's no problem. We are still going to find out the answer right now. Okay. So I'm going to see how we can navigate through formatted string right now by ourselves, by someone that does not know how to code before. So I'm going to go straight and I'm going to see how we can make that happen. Okay, guys. Any other question now?
So maybe my point is, so maybe next time we don't put something like that so that it doesn't mislead people.
Okay.
Or those that are trying to,
do you know why
we can use different methods.
Yes. Do you know why I put that? Because it is one of the latest methods of doing things like that. So when you are going for an interview, something like that, if for example a candidate one does this kind of concatenation, they will say this guy does not really know, like he knows it, but he's using a way that is way back. I could have just done a formatted string and it will work for me. Okay.
Yes, it's all right.
All right.
That's all right.
So
thank you.
Let's go back to how we can make it work for us in the other one. So I'm taking my time as much as possible. Please, if you do not understand, please let us know. Okay, I'll go back to the screen and I try to comment all this out. Shifts. So I decide to comment all these out. So let me comment all this. Okay, so it will not take part in our code any longer.
You say hello with bracket Clark Kent, Superman, Bruce Wayne, Batman. When did we write this other ones? Or is it like once you call out the message, it is automatically like it's already on your own caller, so it just prints it out automatically?
Okay, thank you very much. This was a sample I sent across. It's not automatically. It was a way of you not wasting much of your time to just, once you are done, you can just call the function and it will work for us. It's not, I just added it. There are certain things I added to help you out here. There are a lot of things I added here, like say my name, all these kind of things are supposed to. I do not want to give you something totally blank. I wanted you to have an idea of what you are doing.
Okay, all right.
All right, so now I'm in a particular position. I don't even know what a formatted string is. So what do? I say, okay, how can I use a formatted string to solve this particular problem? So I go to Google and I search formatted. I'm looking like someone that has not coded before. Formatted strings in Python. I can say in Python, Stack Overflow. I click enter. Now you can see the first option is asking me string formatting in Python, Stack Overflow. This question was asked in 2009. Then there are a lot of other people that actually came out with their own ways. To the other people that actually say I have the same answer to this particular question.
So you can't see your screen. No, we can't see your screen.
Please, can you guys see my screen? Is anybody?
Can't see your screen.
Yes,
we
yes,
can see.
Yes, we can.
I can see your
screen.
screen.
I can't see your screen.
Mr. Obaye, that's why I wanted everyone to join the class before 8:30 so that we'll be able to clarify these issues.
I was seeing your screen before, not until now I can't see it again. That's what I'm saying.
Should be your network.
Okay, let me stop my screen sharing. Let me stop my screen sharing and start again.
I can see your screen anyway.
So can you see my screen now, Mr. Obaye?
Yes, it's up.
Yes, please. I can see Google. Yeah, I can see it now.
Okay. So guys, you can see the first thing here is string formatting in Python. So I click on it. Now you can see I want to do something. Someone asked, I want to do something like string.format.this, which returns. So you can see what happens here. You can see that the question here, that the answer that is tick here means that this one is correct. Although there are more advanced features as well, the simplest form ends up looking very close to what you wrote, okay, which is what this person actually tried out. He did string.format this, which did not work for it. It was showing error for the person. So what do? We tend to see what this guy did for string formatting. It means that he's referencing 1, 2, and 3 to be 0, 0 inside an invented a curly bracket, to be 1, 2 to be 1 here, and 2 here inside a curly bracket to be 3. So he's trying to reference a particular kind of, let's say, a particular kind of a variable where you have defined already. Like it could be this particular one is going to be name 1 and also name 2. Okay, there are a lot of answers to this particular question, but let me go to a more recent one. Since this one was 2009, let's go to something that is more recent. So let's go to maybe something that is how to print a string in Python, Stack Overflow. So I can decide to click this one. This one is print a string, which is not what we want. So you can see formatted strings in Python, stack abuse. So let's click. I'm trying to show you how to navigate through things. So we go to formatted strings. You can see introduction here. You can go through so many things. You can see formatting these. We could just be going through things by ourselves. Say, this one is not really working for us. We can go back. I don't understand what is going on here. I can decide to go back. Okay. So, but definitely, you will definitely see things that will also help you. So I go back. And I decide to go back again, getting started with Python, Stack Overflow. How do I extract a part of a string? So these are related questions in which you can actually get it done. So I can see F strings, I can see formatted string, which is also known as, I can decide to say F strings in Python Stack Overflow. I can decide to remove the Stack Overflow, and I search, or I can say Python 3, and I decide to search. Okay, so you can see F strings in Python, gigs for gig. I decide to click on this. So F strings, it tell you what it does. It's because the leading F character, you just read all these things and you can see a sample kind of code. Like, look at what is going on right now, guys. Please pay attention to what is going on right now. This particular gigs for gigs is actually explaining things for the way we want it to be explained. Now, look at this particular program. It have defined a variable named val equals to gigs. Now, it wants to print the variable name val here, and it wants to refer it as val, not gigs itself. So what it does, it started with a formatted string, which is F here. F comes in front, and a double quotes comes up here, and he's referencing gigs here, which is known as val here. Val for val is a portal for val. It means that once it comes out, if you print this, guys, if you print this one out right now, it's going to show you gigs for gigs is a portal for gigs. It's just a way of referencing a particular variable, and in this particular variable name, it has the value of gigs. So that's what we try to do. If you look at the second question here, you have defined two variables now. Name equals to Tusha, age is equals to 23. He's using a formatted string right now, an F string. I like calling it formatted, it's F string. So what we do here is like we print inside a bracket, we have opened a bracket, you put the small letter F and start with a double quote. And once you say hello, comma, my name is, you are now going to reference the variable name here, which is name and which is Tusha. So it's Tusha that will show here, and I am 23 years old. This is what will show because you are now using an F string, a formatted kind of string. So there are two ways of explaining a formatted string, but I like this most recent one because it's the one that is good for Python 3. So once you have this is what you have. The output is here. When I told you gigs for gig is a portal for gigs. Hello, my name is Tusha. I am 23 years old. So you can actually do a whole lot of things and it will work for us. So let's go back to our code and let's see how we can navigate this to work for us. Okay. All right, so let's go. I'm still on number 1 and 2. Okay, I think we'll just have to maybe the next person will just handle one question, then we'll continue in the next slide. I just want everyone to get to understand what we are actually doing. So we can define another function, can decide to say, let's just use this at once. Let's just use this one we started with. Oh God, Control Z. So we take this Control C and we copy it, backspace, make sure you backspace it to V. Now what we are going to do right now, we are going to use the F string right now. So what do? We are going to, you have defined a function, say underscore hello world. We are putting 2 parameters already. We want to use the print function. We just say print, and we'll use what did we say we need? We need hello, and we'll put the person's name and this, and hello Clark, what do you call it? Say hello Clark Kent, hello Alameti, and this. Okay. All right. So what I'm going to do right now, I'm going to bring in the F string. So I start with F, and I put in a double quote. So once I do that, I'm going to say hello, and what I'm going to do next, I'm going to reference the first variable, which is the first parameter here, which is name underscore 1. So I'm going to use a curly bracket here, and I'm going to put in name underscore 1, and I'm going to close the curly bracket. Okay, so what do I do next? I put in what is the next thing we're supposed to do? We need to call hello hello, the name, and and the other name. So and will come in here. If you are lost somehow, you can still go back to, let's go back to the Geeks for Geeks and let's see what they did. So you can see what we're actually on point. The space we did here, we did this. So we go back to our code, and what we do, hello, you reference the variable, the first parameter, and you also need and the second name. So we put it in a curly bracket again, which is used to reference a variable, and which in this particular one is a parameter. So we put name underscore 2, and we close it. Once we close it and we print this particular function, let's see what it will give us. Let's see if we are actually correct. If it's not correct, we'll still go back to it and see if there is an error. We'll still find a way to navigate it through. So let's try and see. Now we are calling the function. When we are calling this particular function, say hello, and we are putting the parameters. The first one is Clark Kent and Superman. The second one, we can just write as many, you can try as many as possible in your own side. So let's see if it's going to run. If it's going to be an error, we clear it out ourselves. So let's run it. So you can see it's still doing the same thing, guys. It is still doing the same thing. I can decide to change this one to let's say a Gemini 2. Okay, so I decide to run it again. So you can see it has changed. Hello, Ekemino 2 and Batman. Okay, so that is for question 1 and question 2. Please, if you have any question, there's another way of doing this. You could have used the dot format too. There's another one known as the dot format. I like, most times we always confuse that with a formatted string too, but that is what, if you use this F string right now for Python 3, for Python 2, it will cause an error. But if you use a dot format way, that one was for Python 2. It could actually work for you at that particular time, but I would advise you to use an F string kind of a way of naming this particular thing for us to understand. So at this point, I would like to entertain questions. If you don't have any questions right now, we can move to the next person, and which is definitely going to be who is the next person to, so is there any question you have right now? Please ask your question. Is there any questions? Any questions at all? You understand the whole concept? Good. Good. Okay, Nena. Okay, Nena. You have the floor. You can say something, Nena. Nena. she raised up her hand. She's not saying anything. Okay, guys, at this point, who is next? Who is the next to be on call? Who is the next to be on call? Let me go to the group and let's see who is next. Emedion John. Emedion John, you can actually add. Emedion John, are you here? Good. Emedion, are you here? Can you hear me? Guys, can you hear me? I don't know if I'm talking to myself. Can you hear me?
Hello.
Yeah, we can hear you.
Yes, I can hear you.
Okay.
Yes, I can hear you.
Hear me
Okay.
now.
Emedion, are you there?
Yes, I'm here. Good evening,
Oh,
everybody.
yes. Good evening and welcome, and thank you for joining in. Okay, you have the floor right now. I'm muting myself.
Okay. Please, can you help me bring out my assignment? I didn't log in with my system, so I can't share my screen. Oops, it's not mine. It's not mine. Okay, it looks like. Okay. Okay, thank you very much. Sorry for putting you through all that stress. Oof.
Do you know I muted myself? Hello, can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
Yes, I can hear you.
Okay, Emedion, what should I do for you right now? What do you want me to do?
Okay, I just wanted to bring up my assignment.
Yes, I brought it out for you. Look at it here. It's in a .py file.
Yep. Let me see that to be well. Okay. Okay. So the third question we are asked to define a function that asked the user to input his or her name and then print out hi name, and the name being in small letters. Yes. And the hint given was that we should use the
Hints to get input from
yeah,
user.
from the user. We should use the input. Is it functional method? Okay. We should use the input function. Just permit me to call it that. I don't know whether it's a functional method. So, based on the function call that was given in the question, sorry, that was given down here. Yes, the function was not to take in any parameter. So that was why I left the bracket there, the parentheses open, and the name of the function was say my name. And yes, using the def keyword, I defined it. That's to show that a function is to be defined and followed by the name of the function being say my name, and a parenthesis followed by a colon to show the end of the function declaration, and the indentation. And yes, getting the input from the user, I actually tagged it username, which is the name of the variable, the input that I'll be getting from the user. And I use the input.
Sorry.
Okay.
Have I blocked the screen?
Yes, you have.
Oh, sorry about that. Okay.
I'm sorry. Okay, so back to the username. I tagged the variable, that is the information I get from the user username, equals to, more like assigning the input to a variable called username. So I used the input function, and the input function, the parentheses is supposed to carry maybe a message to direct or tell the user what to input or what you want them to do. And for mine, I typed in there, what is your name, which is going to show when the code is being, when the code is displayed, yes. And yes, one more thing, I used the dot lower method. The dot lower method there was to convert everything the user would input into small letters. If the name was to be printed in, let's say, title case or the normal sentence case, it should have been dot title or dot upper, as the case may be. So I decided to use the dot lower to convert everything that the user would input, the user's name, in small letters, into small letters. And the function we asked to print hi username. That's the name of the user in small letters. So I used a formatted string here, which Mr. Keminat explained. With the print function going first, a parenthesis, the F there to show that it's a formatted string, followed by colon. The hi there is a normal string, and then the variable I had declared earlier, I placed it in curly braces. I guess that's the syntax for using formatted strings. The variables will be placed in curly braces, while every other thing there, which is a normal string that is not a variable, will just stay on its own. So I closed the bracket, and that was it. Later on was the function call, say my name.
Okay, so what I will do right now is to just copy this code and run it in another environment and see if it worked for us. So that in this particular, this is the advantage Colab has over this, because if you want to run all of them will run all together. So I'm going to copy it out and I'll try to wait. I'm coming. I'm trying to make sure that we leave the what they call it, this particular mode. It's going to the next one, so I'm trying as much as possible to exit. I'm going to go to guys, please be patient with me. I'm still trying to navigate PyCharm for what they call it. No. So I'm supposed to exit now. Guys, I think I'm hooked at this particular point. So what do? We tend to click here and I found a way out. So you see problem solving, always find a way. At some point, some person will give up already. So let's see how we can get this done for us to see. So we can go to new and we can decide to create a new, maybe a new kind of file. And let's just say testing. Okay, we want it to be a Python file. So it's Python. So you can see it's a Python file. And I decide to run it, Control V, what we did. And we decide to run. Guys, you can see how PyCharm is complex already for some persons that are actually seeing it for the first time. I'm supposed to run this directly, but I did not save. Testing, yes, okay. Already exists, so I can see the problem, so I try to save it as, so testing 2. What is going on with Python here? Open matching file, okay. Processing, so let's wait, it's done. So let's try and run this. What is going on?
The testing is not supposed to be an extension .py.
What?
The texting, the name, it's not supposed to be an extension testing.py.
Okay, yes, that's true. Testing.py. Thank you very much. So thank you. So save as testing.py. Good. Thank you very much. Who was that, Mr. Bethel?
Yes.
Oh, thank you very much. Thank you very much. All right. So if you decide to run this, you can see it's showing here what is your name. So we can ask, it's something she defined in the function. What is your name? I can say Ekemini O2, and I click enter. You can see hi Ekemini O2. Guys, all right, so at this point, do you have any question to ask?
I think I noticed that on this particular
IDE
variable, yes, the variable that we run, like what she
Okay,
was
let me go
explaining, I
back to
noticed
it.
that we use the input function and the formatted text that you just showed us like from a few minutes ago.
Yes.
But this lower, yeah, I've never seen this dot lower in any of your this thing. So can you like explain to us more when and how we can use it?
Okay, all right. Okay, there's no problem. So you can see if you can see my screen right now. Oh, sorry. I'm supposed to make that visible. Oh. So what is your name? I can put all of them in capital letters. You can see I'm putting Ekemini O2 in capital letters. So I click enter. You can see it has changed hi Ekemini O2 to a smaller letter, lowercase letter. You can see what happens here is dot lower. This dot lower is a method that is used to change any value that you have gotten as an input here to what? to a small letter. That is the function of dot lower here, okay? And we do not have to use it in our phone. I've never used it before, but it's part of your programming in your learning process that you tend to Google some things out by yourself. Most of these things are deliberate. Most of these things I put here are very, very deliberate, just for you to figure it out yourself. All right. So I don't know if I've been able to answer your question. And tonight we have been able to only handle 3 questions. So I don't know if we should continue or we have to stop here for tonight. Miss, should we continue? Because me as I am now, I'm trying to run away.
No, I think we can stop. We are already on time, right?
Yes, but I want to be very clear. I want to be very clear that is there anyone that still finds it difficult to understand this? Please ask now, please. Please, if you have any issues regarding the first 3 questions right now we have solved tonight, please let us know. This is 100 days of coding. It is very, very important that everyone is being taken along. If you do not understand, if in your heart right now you do not understand what we have done, please say it now, please. Oh, good. Okay.
Kimi, to me it's clear.
Okay, all right.
To me, it's also clear.
Very good, Claire. Everyone is just saying Claire. Okay, you can put it in the chat box, Claire. Anybody that does not say Claire, that means you do not get it, and I'll start calling your names. Please put it in the chat box.
It's clear, but is there any difference between the formatted string and concatenation?
Yes, it is. There's a difference. Concatenation has to do with more of adding, using the plus sign, but also formatted strings, F strings is a way of also concatenating. You can see what we did here. Let me show you what I did. If you can see this in this particular line I did, hello plus name underscore 1 plus and this is a concatenation proper, like a skeletal kind of concatenation. But if you look at these F strings here, it's still concatenating, but it's not showing you that addition sign. It's a way of still concatenating, but without this less stress here. It brings less stress compared to adding this plus and it rest. So it's better you just use F string. F string is a way of adding variables together in a concatenation kind of way without using the addition sign. So you can see we still added the variable, the parameters in which we define, but we did not use the plus sign. Okay?
Yeah, okay. Thank you.
All right. It is clear, but would still try on my way on my own and reach out if I miss my way. Okay, you are permitted to miss your way at any point in time. So at this point, wherever you are, you can submit your number 1 to 3. Please, I would like to see a lot of submissions from tomorrow. Submit your number 1 to 3. Everybody must submit. Now, this is when the Squid will begin proper. I will start. For example, some of you will start seeing yourself in a new group. I'll send you messages like a mail kind of message. Thank you. I have all your emails. If you think I don't have your email, please send it to me. You start receiving email, and that email will contain an invite to a particular group. So if you do not receive that particular invite, it means you might be attending meetings, but you will not be a part of us in the long run. Please try as much as possible to submit your number 1 to number 3 tonight that we have solved, and you can also add your own ways of doing things. Please, it is very important. Submit your number 1 to 3 assignments for this last one we just finished to the submission link. Thank you very much. Thank you. It's very, very important. Please take it very, very important. And also, let's try. Anytime I drop a YouTube video, even though you have been in the class before, just comment, express yourself in the, just like, comment, do anything to the video as you like, but just engage in the video. Okay, we are trying to create a system in which people can actually see what we have done so far and actually appreciate what we have done. Please, if you have any other question, let me know.
I have a question.
Okay.
But not on this. I don't really understand the return statement under function.
Yes, that is the reason for this particular class, this particular explanation of the assignment. The assignment is meant to contain everything we have done in function and try to explain all of them one after the other. So there is a return kind of question in this particular assignment. I'm very sure of that. It is deliberate. And also, as we go on, the questions will become tougher and tougher. It's a way, all these questions are interview questions. They are questions that have been given to Python developers when they are going for their selection interviews. So anything I give to you to do, it is very, very deliberate. So imagine that you went for an interview and you saw first number 1, 2, and 3 questions in your interview question. For sure, you are going to find a way to navigate it. It's going to get tougher, and you have to put in the work. You have to put in the work. Some people used to spend nights coding. Some people will spend nights, they will code, but they will not see any result because they have gotten to a particular place, a roadblock in which they cannot find a way out. They will Google stuff, try and try. It can even be up to 3 days, yet they are still trying to get a particular concept. So programming is more like that. It is not an easy thing. You cannot miss a class and you come back the next day and you will lose it. Even though I was trying to navigate something with Nena today, a little thing like a space in between this, a little thing like a colon, it will cause problem. Coding is like that. A little thing like comma will cause an issue. So you have to be very, very careful and attend classes. And also, it may not only be this Advion class. Go on YouTube, search for videos on Python. You will see new concepts regarding what we have done. You try new things, and we are going to get it gradually. When we get to the data science stage, it's going to be more complex too, especially someone like me that have really gotten to the part of I like using Colab. I think this is one of the first times I'm mostly trying to use PyCharm and the rest, but for presentation, not for project, but for presentation kind of stuff. So try as much as possible to go learn on your own at some point. I've given you a scheme of work to do. Go through it, look at it one after the other. Find a way to navigate through things. Now the next project is Turtle. Is on Turtle. Is a graphics kind of library or model that is used in Python to draw images or shapes. Go and read on it. Watch videos on it. Come out and be a pro when we want to run our project. You will enjoy this class. Don't wait for Advion to feed you at all times. If you have any roadblock, come up to me, meet me. First of all, I'll laugh at you first because I was there. I can remember laughing at Nena today. I'm sorry about that, but I imagine myself back then, how it all started. So I remember myself, I see myself in your shoe. That's why sometimes I'll just create an emoji laugh one, but I'll tell you, calm down. It's a way of me trying to remember some things and also put you in a very stable way. So always feel free to meet me up, chat me up at any time. If I tell you I'm busy, I'm actually very busy because sometimes work could be overstressed for me when it comes to running data science model. Data science is not that easy. It actually has to do a whole lot of things. So once we reach a roadblock that I can tell you, maybe after my work, I will attend to you. Okay, and you also have a community, and I really appreciate. I really want to appreciate Mr. Gabriel. Mr. Gabriel, I don't know if you are still here with us.
He has gone.
He has gone. I really want to appreciate him too because I've been hearing comments. Mr. Charity said he has been of very good help. Please, let's try and help each other. Mr. David has always been wonderful as well. He's always trying to make so anyone could actually help each other out. Try as much as possible to help each other out. If someone meets you up or if someone drops a comment in the chat room, please just try and answer if you can actually answer. But if you do not, you can actually tell the person to come to me, and I will definitely, if I see nobody's answering, once I'm free, I'll be able to answer it at this point. I don't know if Mr. Adoje Moses understands what we have done tonight. Do you understand? Let me stop the recording. Let me just stop recording.